Yes, major history, and according to news reports, Trump administration has been rocked by very disturbing revelations concerning high-level meeting concerning issues of national security relating to the current conflict in Yemen. Apparently, highly classified information was shared to a journalist regarding airstrikes against that country. Um, this is a direct violation of protocol and security measures meant to prevent such a occurrence. To me, it underlines the state of unprofessional conduct, inexperience in some quarters at the highest level of government. In this case, the National Director of National Security, I think his name is Mr. Waltz. And this is a very glaring oversight uh, that is a mistake that should not have happened. It would not have happened if this meeting was managed by more uh, professional, experienced individuals, which apparently they're not. So there's been widespread criticism that Trump administration has hired many of these individuals because of their political allegiance, not necessarily for their uh, experience or professional acumen. So naturally, the Democrats going to take this uh, scandal or problem and run away with it. And obviously, the Republicans would do the same thing if they were in the same position. So that's a given. But me, myself personally, as an independent, I don't have a dog in this fight. And I try to look at it as objectively as possible. So I think that this current administration needs to take a hard look at their security measures and the people who are charged with handling this nation's top secrets so that they don't alienate our allies and give an unfair advantage to this country's adversaries. So it remains to be seen whether President Trump will act accordingly or whether he will try to shield his aides from criticism, even from some individual in his own ranks in the Republican Party. So we'll see how this develops and whether the shoe will drop and what other measures might be taken in this regard. Thank you. Yes, this is a major history. I'm doing a follow-up report on the controversy surrounding some of President Trump's staff during a supposedly secret, secure cabinet meeting. apparently was not secret or secure. It may involve the leak of classified information to an outside journalist who was not, as I understand, authorized to have that type of information on such a high-level meeting. Reporters from the magazine called Atlantic, and I believe his name is Mr. Goldberg, and he subsequently revealed the fact that he was given access to this chat, uh, whereas he was not really authorized or eligible to involve in such a high-level meeting. And the current administration under President Trump has now pushed back against claims that this information was classified or that any war plans were leaked to the public, despite information to the contrary. Now, it reminds me of the similar type of scandal years ago involving General David Petraeus, formerly in charge of United States forces in Iraq during the Iraq War, subsequently named to be head of the Central Intelligence Agency. And apparently he gave classified information also to a journalist or writer he was apparently involved in a personal relationship with. And he was subsequently called to account for this breach, and was also, I believe, reprimanded by his higher authorities for that leak, and he publicly apologized for it. Whereas in the current situation, there has been no direct apology from the president, and there's been no reprimand or any type of calling to account for this breach of potentially classified information. So the way I see it, during the General Petraeus situation, this was a lapse in judgment on his part due to his personal feelings about this individual kind of clouded momentarily his professional judgment. Whereas his current situation, I think, is a little bit more serious because it reveals some management issues and structural issues involving the leak of exposure of potentially classified information and war plans involving conflict with the adversaries in Yemen. So this is on another level, on another scale, and I think a little bit more serious because it's an institutional failure, not a lack of a judgment, personal judgment by one individual. So whether it be seen as such by the current administration remains to be seen. But up to now, they have not as yet addressed this and recommended any remedy, or aside from the fact that President Trump has said this system which they use, the online chat, will be put aside for the time being, which is a positive step. But the individuals that allow this to be used have yet to be called into account for the use of this system. So there lies the problem. So that's my take on it, and I think General Petraeus suffered a momentary lack of professional judgment, but he didn't in any wise uh, expose the United States to a security breach. That's my take on it. Thank you. Yes, this is a major history again, and I talking earlier today with associate of mine. We got on a subject of the book by Harry Beecher Stowe called Uncle Tom's Cabin. And my feeling that it was really a pivotal book in the events preceding the Civil War in which occurred in 1861. Her book was very influential and very controversial. It was a very polarizing book, inflamed of passion both north and south, pro and con. You know, the Southerners disliked it and despised her personally. The Northerners were very electrified by it. It reminds me of what's going on now in the year 2020 with the new administration of Donald J. Trump. This new administration has close to zero representation of African Americans in the higher levels of government. I didn't say zero, I said close to zero representation, which I asked myself this question: why the African Americans supported Trump and some still support Trump despite this fact? Are these Uncle Tom's children, or great great, I should say great 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 grandchildren of Uncle Tom? The myth fictional character and Harry Beecher Stowe's book, because the mindset of these individuals reminds me of the character of Uncle Tom. They're very, very sympathetic to the whims and wishes of their master, of Master Charlie or Master Trump. Bend their head and bow their knee, and all they good going to get is a pat on their head, if they get that. So this representation or the non-representation of African Americans in his administration proves that these individuals that support Trump have this slave mentality mindset, which has accrued to them, from what I can see, little or no benefit up to this point. But be that as it may, uh, I don't think this will deter them from continuing to support Donald J. Trump. And by the way, rumor has it that there may be a $5,000 dividend payout for taxpayers. It's a proposal that's been floated and has not been completely embraced by the current administration, nor has it been completely rejected. But I do think that this proposal is more a maneuver, I would say a charade, than anything else. It keeps people hoping against hope that they'll get some crumbs from the table of these multi-billionaires. It's a maneuver to keep them distracted from their shenanigans that's ongoing in this current administration. But what remains to be seen if any concrete will come from this proposal, or this is just another ploy or charade on the part of the current administration. We'll just have to wait and see. Thank you. Yes, this is major history, and I would like to call this part two, Kicks of a Dying Mule. I don't know if you're aware of it, that Mr. Elon Musk, who is currently head of a department called the Department of Government Efficiency, has been a lightning rod of controversy in this country, as seen by some as the power behind the throne. Mr. Elon Musk has amassed a huge fortune as of last year, 400 million, but recently he has been experiencing a precipitous decline in his revenue and his net worth. By one agency, he now reportedly has, first time in months, his wealth has declined under 300 million. But obviously, you can't go by one survey or report. It's just like voting polls. You have to take into account more than one to come with a close to accurate survey. However, saying that, I do believe that even if this report is not 100% accurate, it probably comes close to it. And this decline has come almost the same simultaneously with these nationwide protests against Trump and his policies nationwide. Last week they had a hands-off protest across the country with over 150 organizations participating and held in about 1,000 locations nationwide. So this speaks to the issue Are demonstrations effective or not? I believe that we cannot discount the effectiveness of these demonstrations because number one, they are unprecedented basically in nature of a sitting president for his domestic policy. And we can't uh, discount the fact that the public anger against Elon Musk has had an effect on the sales of his products, especially his Tesla electric vehicles, particularly the Cybertruck vehicle. So Elon Musk is feeling the brunt of the backlash against the administration's policies. And this is seen, as I said before, in a drastic decline in its net worth from last year. And this trend continues. His competitors, the ultra rich competitors he has, um, Zuckerberg and Bezos and others, may soon catch up with him and eclipse him and dethrone him, remove him from the throne of the world's richest man. We'll just have to wait and see. Thank you. Yes, this is major history, and I'd like to comment briefly or give you an update on the current situation uh, with the Ukraine, ongoing conflict in Ukraine between the Russians and the Russian Federation and the Ukrainian state. As you may be aware of or may not be aware of, there's been preliminary discussions of possible negotiation between the parties, possibly involving the United States. And one of the issues has been discussed on the table for possible negotiation is return of territory to Ukraine uh, seized by Russia during the current conflict. In my view, the odds of that happening are remote, to say the least. If history is any lesson, uh, it should inform us that the Russian and the Soviet state before them are very disinclined to surrender anything they have gotten in the course of conflict. Brings to mind the end of the Second World War, when the Soviet Union joined at the very end of the war against Japan, Imperial Japan. And at the conclusion of the Second World War, the Soviet Union seized substantial amounts of Japanese territory in the north of main islands of Japan. And to this day, the Soviet or the Russian state, the Soviet state before it, has declined any offers to return that territory, despite the Japanese many efforts to retrieve it from international bodies. So I believe at the same time, for the same reasons, um, Russian Federation will not return any territory to the state of Ukraine. And for the same reasons that they didn't return any territory to Japan at the conclusion of the Second World War. They they believe it's rightfully theirs, if not legally, morally, for the sacrifices, loss of life, and material and personnel used to gain that territory. So I do believe that, regardless of potential negotiations, I don't think the Russians will be ceding any or surrendering any territory they had gained in this conflict. Odds are against it, and history tells us that they hardly ever surrender territory that they achieve in war. So that should be kept in mind, and I don't expect them to budge from that position anytime soon. But anything's possible. But we'll have to wait and see if and when negotiations start. Thank you.